Namaskar, Dilip Singh Advocate, and welcome to my channel Legal Outlook by Dilip Singh. 10th June 1998, General Assembly of United Nations Organization in its special session adopts a political declaration calling upon its member states to adopt national money laundering legislation and program. And on 17th of January 2003, the Prevention of Money Laundering Act 2002 was published in Gazette. This was passed by NDA government under the Prime Ministership of Sri Atal Bihari Vajpayee. But it was implemented and notified on 1st July 2005 and it came into force. The object was to secure, to impose obligation on banking companies, financial institutions, intermediaries to verify the identity of clients, maintain records, and furnish information as prescribed by the government for the stopping and preventing the money laundering in India, and particularly the money coming from the various illegal sources into the mainstream of the country. On March 6, 2020, the division bench of Punjab and Haryana High Court passed a very important judgment, and the name of the case was Seema Garg versus Directorate of Enforcement, and the case number is PMLA number 1 of 2020. The bench was of Justice Jaswant Singh and Justice Sat Prakash. Let us understand the fact of the case. In fact, an FIR was registered on 26 July 2013 and in Ludhiana under the section 177, 420, 465 and other various other sections of IPC, and this FIR was lodged against Messrs Jaldhara Exports. This was a proprietorship concern of Raman Garg. The allegation was fraudulent refund of VAT during February and March 2013 without actual export of goods. This fraudulent refund was taken. This was the allegation against the person. On 14th August 2013, Enforcement Directorate registered a case as Enforcement Case Enforcement Case Information Report, and on 13th December 2013, ED provisionally, Enforcement Directorate provisionally attaches the plot number 800 Street 2, Baba Gajanan Jain Colony, Moti Nagar. This was belonging to Srimati Seema Garg. In fact, then after this provisional attachment, Enforcement Direct moves a complaint before the adjudicating authority for confirmation of this provisional attachment, and this provisional attachment order was confirmed by the adjudicating authority on 28th of May 2019. Then the matter went to appellate tribunal. There, this order was confirmed and the appeal was dismissed on 9th of August 2019. And now this order of appellate tribunal was impugned in High Court. The main argument of the appellant was that the property in question was purchased much prior to the alleged incident or alleged offence, even much prior to the introduction of this Prevention of Money Laundering Act. So this property cannot be attached, and there is no link between the property and the alleged offence. High Court has led to very important legal proposition in this case. First, the property with no direct or indirect link with alleged criminal activity cannot be attached. Second, that property obtained through a legitimate source cannot be attached on the ground that the property obtained through criminal activity is not available. So, court held that property acquired prior to commission of scheduled offence or criminal activity or introduction of Prevention of Money Laundering Act cannot be attached unless property obtained or acquired from the scheduled offence is held to be taken outside country. Because this is one provision when if the property is to be taken outside the country, then it can be attached. The properties held by accused in Ludhiana, Mohali, which was attached by ED in 2017, and that property was purchased in the year 1991. So the alleged offence is of 2013, whereas the property purchased in 1991. So the question before division bench was whether the attached property is proceed of crime as defined in the section 2 subsection 1U of Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Let us see what the argument was given by Enforcement Direct before High Court. It argued that it can attach any property as per the proviso of Section 5 subsection 1 of PML Act. And it was argued that from ED that it is irrelevant whether the property in question is connected with the alleged offence or not. So before going further, let us understand and let us see what is the definition of proceed of crime as given in section 2 subsection 1U of the Act. Proceed of crime means first any property derived or obtained directly or indirectly by any person as a result of criminal activity relating to the scheduled offence. Second part is or value of any such property. Third, or where such property is taken or held outside the country, then the property equivalent in value held within the country. So the division bench in its verdict said that any property cannot be permitted or held liable to be attached irrespective of date of purchase, because there is no link between the property purchased and the alleged offence, and there must be a direct connection between the crime and the property attached. Before we proceed further, let us see what is section 24 of the Prevention of Money Laundering Act, because this speaks about the burden to prove that property is not involved in money laundering is upon the person whose property is attached. High Court very rightly observed here that there is no sense on the part of any person to discharge burden qua the source of the property if in any manner any property is to be attached irrespective of its source. So what is the meaning of discharging the burden on the part of the person whose property is attached? So if we see this in this context, then there must be a relation between the property attached and the alleged offence. The court in its ruling also said that if property purchased prior to the commission of offence or property not obtained from the alleged crime is declared as proceed of crime, then every person who is in link with that property, either as a sale agent or as in any point of time if the property was held by any person as a purchaser or in any capacity, they all would be guilty of the offence of money laundering. Then the very purpose of the Prevention of Money Laundering Act will be futile, because the law has to be specific and the burden is to be placed on very precisely for proving the offence. Observing that non-availability of property derived from scheduled offence does not make immune an accused from offence of money laundering, as the criminal liability is separate from civil liability of attachment. And the court said property derived from a legitimate source cannot be attached on the ground that property derived from a scheduled offence under the Act is not available. It is also said that there may be a case where the accused on account of destruction or disposal of the property may not have that property. In that case, the value of the property derived from the scheduled offence, that value to secure any other property can be attached. So we find, the court said, we find and hold that the phrase value of such property does not mean and include any property which has no link direct or indirect with the property derived or obtained from the commission of scheduled offence. So this act, this judgment is very good, because it very categorically has separated and clarified the position of proceed of the crime. And value of property means property which has to be converted into the another property or has obtained on the basis of property obtained through the alleged crime. So this is very clear-cut distinction has been given in this case, and this is a very good judgment, and as a defense lawyer, it helped me in many cases where I was arguing the case, and I was able to show the court that the source of property is legitimate source, and there is no link between the property attached and the property as per the allegation. And this was a very good ground when you are examining as an advocate about this, about the reason to believe recorded by the officer as well as the adjudicating authority. So this judgment is a very helpful judgment. It has cleared many cobweb regarding and many ambiguity regarding the proceeds of crime. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please subscribe to my channel if you have not subscribed. And one special request, that please share your views about the video, about the contents of video, and let me know what you are thinking about it. Thank you very much. Namaskar.